I don't like tomatoes. I like lettuce. Anywhere with buffalo wings, buffalo chicken.
Boxers or briefs?
Really? I grew up in a home where my mom was walking with Christ and my dad wasn't. And so that made things really difficult when I was growing up. When I was 8 years old, I was baptized, and I understood what decision I had made. I understood that Jesus died for me and that I was apart from him, and so I needed to ask him into my heart in order to be with him someday. When I was little, I remember just crying a lot, going to church camps, and always just praying for my dad and praying for my dad, and just understanding so much that Jesus was the way, and Jesus was the only way. When I was 16, 2 weeks after I got my license, I was almost killed in a really bad car accident. And when that happened, I kind of shook my parents' world. 3 weeks after my car accident, my dad went in front of the church, and if you know a lot about older men giving their lives to Christ, you know that it's something that they really have to humble themselves to do, to realize their need for Jesus after being so dependent just on themselves for so long. So my dad gave his life to Christ when I was 16, and after my accident happened, that was when I truly realized that there was a plan that the Lord had for me, and that apart from him and apart from walking with him and knowing him, life was never going to be everything that it could. When I first got here and I started playing, I really was just a very selfish person. I had a hard time loving people that didn't see life the way that I did, and I had a hard time just being confident in who I was, and I was very insecure, and I just wanted so badly to be accepted and to be loved. The summer after my freshman year, I decided to go on a missions project for 9 weeks down in Florida, and it was something that I sort of did on impulse, and I was really scared, I was really unsure, but I knew that I needed to take a step in my faith, and at the time I thought that that was where I needed to be and where my time needed to be spent. So I got down there, and I was surrounded by a bunch of college students like myself who were, I think, just trying to figure out what life with Christ looks like. I think that when you're in college, you are shown so many things that just make the Christian life and the Christian walk less appealing, and I definitely lived that out my freshman year. So when I got down there, I remember talking to my room leader and just having this conversation that was really hard, because I thought I knew who Jesus was, and I thought that I had been walking with him my whole life, but the reality is that I never saw how dirty I was, and I never saw how unclean my heart was. And because I never realized the depth of my sin, I was never able to really need him, and I was never able to understand everything that he did on the cross for me. The temptation and everything else in college, it doesn't really become less appealing. It still is hard. It still is a constant battle of fighting for Jesus and for choosing him when my flesh and my sin wants to still be in the world and still live in the world. I think so many times I have chosen temporary happiness over permanent joy, and every single time the Lord has just called me back to him, and he's reminded me that that he already paid the penalty for everything when he did die on the cross. And I don't have to dwell. I don't have to allow my sin to take me captive, because He has made me clean and He has made me perfect through the death of His Son. The prodigal son is one of my favorite stories. I did a study on it with my D group my sophomore year in college, and I think that what is just so beautiful and exciting about it is that it just shows us that we can never be too far from the Lord. We can never be too broken. We can never be too dirty or too messed up, or there's never a place that you can go that is it's never going to be too far to be accepted into His arms again. My mistakes aren't something that I have to beat myself up over. And I think that it's really, really hard when you start walking with Christ and when you start realizing that people look at you and they look at your life and they look at how you live. And when you mess up or when you feel like you fall short, it's so easy to feel like, how am I supposed to get up and just keep going? How am I not supposed to just indulge and then wake up the next day and like seek the Lord? And through my mistakes and through falling short, I've really learned that I have to wake up every day and say, I'm going to pursue Jesus, and I'm going to pursue holiness, and I'm going to pursue a life that has never, it's never led me down the wrong path. When I'm walking with Christ and when my heart and my eyes are set on Him, I have joy. I have this just love for others. I have this excitement in my heart to share what He's done in my life, to share who He is.